Namaste dosto. Welcome to my YouTube channel called IVD Manufacturing. So today we'll be discussing on chapter 1 of Indian MDR 2017 published by the CDSCO. So what is this chapter 1? Chapter 1 is none and all, it is a preliminary. To get the idea or an overview of about the Indian MDR 2017 and their respective definitions. So let's start with today's lecture. Point number 1, which is a short title and the commencement. So this rule may be called as a medical device rule, which is 2017. The rule shall, unless specified otherwise, come into force with effect from the first day of January 2018. So this rule was effectively published on 1st of Jan 2018. What is the application of this Indian MDR 2017? The rule shall be applicable on following products. Number 1, the substances used for the in vitro diagnostic and surgical dressings, surgical bandage, surgical staples, surgical sutures, ligature, blood, and blood component collection bag with or without anticoagulant covered under subclause 1. What are the second category of product on which this rule is applicable? The substances including mechanical contraceptives such as the condoms, the intrauterine devices, the tubal rings, disinfectant and insecticide notified under subclause 2. What are the third category of the products? The device is notified from time to time under subclause 4 of clause B of section 3 of Drug and Cosmetic Act, which is 1940. So I hope you are clear as to what is the applicability of this rule or what is the scope of this Indian MDR 2017. Now let's go through the definition. So my friends, I am not going to go through each definition, though I am going to pick up a crucial definition which is really very important for all the regulatory affair personnel to keep in their mind while they are filing Indian medical device application on their CDSCO portals, right? Which is the NSWs or the CDSCO MD online portal. So let's look into the definition. The first definition speaks about the academic clinical study. As the name suggests, if you are performing any clinical study conducted for the academic purpose on a medical devices for the approved or a new intended use, new MOC, new improved design or the new population. So if you are using the medical devices for the clinical study that was only meant for the academic, those are categorized under the academic clinical study. I can give you one of the example. Let's say a product which is based on the research use only, right? Those can be used in the academic purpose. I mean our PhD scholar across the university, they will use those medical device or the kit for their research purpose. So this is one type of the example. The second one, when the word act come across the Indian MDR, it simply means it refers to the Drug and the Cosmetic Act, which is 1940. What do you mean by active diagnostic medical devices? Medical devices which are actively involved in diagnosing a particular disease are meant for that purposes. So any active medical devices used whether alone or in combination with the other medical devices to supply information for detecting diagnosis or monitoring or to provide support in treatment or any psychological conditions, state of health, illness or congenital deformity are meant for that purpose. I hope this is clear. So similarly, you can go through the definition like active medical devices, active therapeutical medical devices, right? So these are the definition. Now let's speak about the authorized agent. What do you mean by the authorized agent? It means a person, including any firm or organization who has been appointed by the overseas manufacturer through a power of attorney to undertake the import of medical devices in India. So I hope this is very clear, my friends. What do you mean by the authorized agent? I'm not going to talk about the body orifice. Let's talk about the CLA, which is very important to understand. This CLA is none and all, it is the Central Licensing Authority. So when you file any application related to the medical devices or the IVD, Those applications will divert into two of the LA category, licensing authority, based on the classification of medical devices. It could be either the CLA or it could be either the SLA. When I say CLA, it's a central licensing authority. When I say SLA, it's a state licensing authority, my friends. So class A and B will go to SLA, whereas class C and D will go to CLA. So CLA is basically the Drug Controller General of India, been appointed by the GOI, Central Government of India. What do you mean by the Central Medical Device Testing Laboratory? Means a medical device laboratory established or designated by the central government under Rule 19 and shall be deemed to control the drugs laboratory established for the purpose of the Section 6 of this Act. So I hope this is clear, my friends. So you can go through these definitions, right? Whereas even for the company also you can go through the definition, right? So there is nothing to like take it off. Fine. Now let's talk about what do you mean by the clinical evidence, right? So this clinical evidence word is understood in terms of the different horizon. Meaning of clinical evidence is different when we talk about the in vitro diagnostic. When we talk about the medical devices, the clinical investigation plan, the performs evaluation, the clinical research organization. So you can go through this definition and you'll be easily able to understand. So I'm not going to go through each of this definition, right? Now, let's speak about a definition called as the conformity assessment. So you must be knowing whenever you do any kind of audit, there are different category of the observations. It could be either the non-conformance in terms of the major, minor, it could be either the observation and so on. So when we comply with the SOP or the given approved procedure, we conform to the procedure. So it is termed as a conformity assessment. Or you can call it as the systematic examination of the evidences generated and procedure undertaken by the manufacturer to determine that a medical device is safe and perform as intended by the manufacturer and therefore conforms to the essential principle of safety and performance for the medical devices. So in simple word, whenever we are going to use this word conformity assessment, you need to keep in your mind that whatever the medical devices or IVD which you are going to produce, those should comply with the essential principle of the safety and performance of the medical devices, right? So we'll not be talking about the controlling officer, you can go through that. Custom medical device also you can go through it. Ethics committee, you can go through it. Forms, no need to talk about. Clinical good practices, no. Intended use, yes, of course. So what do you mean by the intended use? It means the use for which the medical device is intended according to the data supplied by the manufacturer on the labeling or in the document containing the instruction for use. So this is very simple to know. Most of the you'll be aware about the intended use meaning. We'll not talk about the invasive devices, investigation medical devices, right? But now we can talk about the predicative devices, right? So which does not have the predicate devices as defined in clause ZM, which is licensed under sub rule 4 or 6 or 20 of rule 25, and claims for the new intended use or new population of the new material or the major design change has been assessed for the safety or performance effectiveness in the clinical investigation, right? So I hope this is clear, my friends. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, just 1 minute. Whenever we use the word license, it means a license granted by SLA or CLA in form of various MD forms. It could be their MD5, 6, 9, 10, 15 and so on, right? What do we mean by loan license? As the name suggests, loan means you are giving a loan to someone else. Let's say I am the parent manufacturer or I own a design of a particular medical devices. So let's say I am the manufacturer A. So let's say I am scaling up, my production is getting scaled up. I am in a phase of expansion. So my current facility is not able to meet the demand of the current customers. So what I am going to do, rather than expanding my facility, I may take the decision to use the facility of other manufacturer, right, on a temporary basis or on a particular agreement basis. So I am giving basically a loan to that manufacturer, right? Loan in terms of what? To produce my medical devices in their premises at a given agreement or at a given terms and conditions. So loan license means a license issued for manufacturing medical devices by the state licensing authority or the CLA, as case may be, to a person who intend to utilize the manufacturing site of the other licensee for manufacturing the same medical device as manufactured by licensee at that stage. So please be careful when you are going with the loan license. So the medical devices what we are producing, it should be same manufactured by the other side. आपको तो समझ में आ गया दोस्तों. अगर मैं मलेरिया रैपिड टेस्ट बना रहा हूँ तो उसके पास भी मलेरिया रैपिड टेस्ट के प्रेमिसेस में मतलब मैन्युफैक्चरिंग हुआ होना चाहिए पहले का, राइट? I'm not going to talk about the long term. I'm not going to talk about the medical device ka meaning. These are all simple to understand, and the grouping as well as, right? I will not talk about the medical device officer. Let's go in subsequent definition. Yes. So what do we mean by notified? When I use the word notified across the MDR 2017, it means we are notifying in the official gazette by the central government. I will not talk about the notified body, neither performance evaluation nor post-marketing surveillance. We will talk about the predicate device. Means a device first time and first of its kind approved for manufacture for the sale or the import by the central licensing authority, has a similar intended use or material of constructions and design characteristic. So basically a predicate device is new to the market. That device doesn't exist into the market, right? It is a novel medical devices. So I hope this is clear. I am not going to talk about the QMS, the reagent nor recall, right? So you can go through all this definition, which is very easy to understand, right? Now let's talk about the meaning of the SLA. SLA means the authority designated by the state government under sub-rule 2 of rule 8. Transient use means a device intended for the continuous use or less than the 60 minutes. These are the SLAs, right, my friends? I'm not going to talk about the transmissal agent even. So I hope you must have enjoyed my today's lecture. Please do like my video, comment on my video, and share with your valuable network. Till then, take care. Bye bye.